Alrighty, welcome to another session of Office Hours. Today is April the 28th, and this is Office Hours session number 39, getting almost right up there, almost to 50 now. Only a few weeks to go. Today, a little bit less of an educational session that I usually like to do, and I instead am going to be showing you some of the stuff that we've been working extremely diligently on so that we can provide you with better tools that will better enable you to make informed business decisions and help you close more business. So I'm going to be showing you a sneak peek into Groundhogg 2.2, which is just around the corner, and will bring a serious number of enhancements to our plugin that, again, will enable you to make more informed business decisions and close more business. Before we jump into it, as always, there are a few just announcements to start off with. At any point, you are welcome to ask a question live in the comments section of this live video. You can just do that in the comments or the live chat, however it appears, if you're on your phone or on your computer. I will then reiterate the question out loud and then answer it live on this call if I'm able to do so. This session will be recorded and posted to our Office Hours channel on the Groundhogg Academy website, as well as our YouTube channel, so make sure that you're subscribed there. And let's just jump into it. I see a few people on the call with me. I see Cedric and Karsten are here with me, and all the way from Germany. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to just pop those in the chat. So Groundhogg 2.2, a serious number of enhancements, and I'm just going to go right into it. Show, don't tell. So let me just pull up some of what we got here. So in Groundhogg 2.2, the main focus was making the reporting better. From day one of the things that people have been asking us to do is to make the reporting superior to what we currently have. So if you're familiar, if we just go to the dashboard that I have here, you'll see what it looks like. So our current reporting is we have a whole bunch of widgets, and they're kind of just like shoved into the dashboard, which none of them appear to be enabled for whatever reason. Oh, because this is an old site. So anyway, we have a bunch of widgets stuffed into the reporting dashboard, and they're hard to read, they're hard to find, they're hard to decipher. So Groundhogg 2.2 was all about creating an all-new dashboard reporting experience. And I see Link and Louis have joined the call. Welcome to both of you. If you have any questions, pop those in the chat. This is the new reporting experience, and I'm super excited. It's beautiful. It's all in one place. It's formatted, and it provides some actual insight into the performance of your business. So here we have, starting off with a chart, and just pretty simple, new contacts. This is the overview tab. It's kind of just like a generic overview of what's going on. We can see our new contacts, so our acquisition of new email addresses versus a previous period, so whatever your date range is, which you can select up here. Currently, I have from January 1st to March 31st, but I'm just going to set that to the last month. So if I want to see what last month's performance was versus the previous month's performance, I can just select my date range up here, and it'll show me I collected this many contacts over this many days, and I can see that in a beautiful, nice chart format. I can see that my contact acquisition was actually down. So this is one of the new things that we wanted to focus on, is providing actual insight into month over month or range over range percentage growth or decrease in growth. So I can see that my contact acquisition was down 37%, but the number of contacts that I engaged over that period was actually up. So we now provide tracking for engaged contacts. So people that have communicated, clicked the link, opened an email, filled out a form, stuff like that. So we can see that number here. I can see how many emails I sent. So my actual email sends were up 29% that month. My open rate was down 12%, so my average open rate across all of the emails that I sent. I can also see my average click-through rate and all of that stuff. So just about providing clear insight into your overall metrics, and then providing you with comparisons over date ranges so you can see trends and start to see trends of how your business is growing and performing. Moving further down the overview, There's a few more charts that we just kind of threw in there. So we have our opt-in status chart, so you can see how many of those contacts, those new contacts that you got, how many of them were marked as spam, how many of them were confirmed, unconfirmed, unsubscribed, etc. We have a few more charts that I'm going to get to this one in a second. But we're now providing a way to track conversions in specific funnels. So we now have something called the conversion step, which will allow you to select a specific step within a funnel to mark as a conversion. It's not going to be your form, but rather, let's say you have an upsell funnel, someone submits a form, and the goal is to have them book an appointment, then you will be able to track the conversion rate between when they give you their email address and when they book the appointment. So we're going to be able to provide you with those metrics now as well. And that's what you see here. So we can look at your top converting funnels and the performance of those funnels. Moving down, we can also see lead source reports and country reports, and I'm going to get to those in a second because those are also included in the contacts tab. So we have a tab dedicated to just general CRM reporting and metrics. So we have that new contacts chart again on this page. We can see our confirmed contacts and our unsubscribed contacts. We're now tracking the dates of which those transactions happen, so that we're able over time to see trends again in the number of contacts that are confirming their email address and the number of which are unsubscribing. We can also drill down into your new contacts and where they're actually coming from. You can see that Groundhogg has contacts in a number of countries, over 30 now, which is pretty incredible. And we can drill down into the specific states of which where they are located, the specific regions rather per country by selecting that here. So if I want to see everybody in Canada and where those people are come, I can see the different provinces that they're in. So some cool metrics going on there. Going further down, we have a top search engines report, so you can see where people are coming from. Most likely you're just going to see Google there, but hey, you never know. We see a top social networks report. So if you do a lot of social lead generation through Facebook or Instagram, you're going to see that here. We don't do a lot of lead gen through those platforms because generally someone gives us their email address and then we add them to the Facebook group, but you never know. That may happen. We have top source pages. So you can see where people on your site are actually signing up. So you can see that we have a lot of signups coming through our checkout page, through our contact page, obviously just filling out the contact form. And again, talking about those lead sources. So we can see where people are coming from and the number of contacts that you've generated from specific websites outside of your domain. I have a couple coming from, what you see here is you see a couple of other people's WordPress dashboards. And you can see how they move from their dashboard to our site through the guided setup process, most likely. We see Google showing up here. We see our WordPress repository page showing up here. So you can see insights into how people are reaching your website. And then one of my favorite tabs, we're going to go to the email tab. You know, Groundhogg is all about, an email we have a huge email marketing component of what we do here. So let's talk about email. And I see Zane and I see Cedric and I see Carson getting in there all saying great job. Well, I'm glad you like it. And I really hope that this is going to help you. So let's jump into the email tab. So we can see our email metrics over time. We can see the relation in between our open rate and our click-through rate and our send rate, and we can see how that's affected over time. We can see our kind of like generic email stats, so the number of emails sent, our average open rate, our average click-through rate, and those trends over time and how those are performing. You can see that our click-through rate is down a whole lot. Not really sure why that is. But this is something that we're able to now look into because we see that trend happening. We are also, again, we're starting tracking the transactions of dates of when people become unsubscribed, spam, bounces, complaints. So we can see trends in that happening as well. We have our last broadcast report just so we can see that in an instant. We can see who we sent it to, how many of those people opened it, how many of those people clicked it, what the click-through rate was. We can see that this particular broadcast had a pretty good click-through rate. And then what we can see is we can see a generic kind of top-performing broadcasts report from the top down. And we can see that For example, the last week office hours, we sent that to 764 people, and it got pretty decent stats, 25% open, 10% clicks. And we can drill down that into that further and various other broadcasts. And these are two of my favorite reports that we've just added. So these aren't moved from our old dashboard, that these are brand new reports. And these reports are the top performing funnel emails and the funnel emails needing improvement. Before, you basically had to go into the funnel reporting view and go through each funnel individually and find the emails that weren't working. Now you don't have to do that. We're just going to be able to show you which emails are not working. So here you can see that our onboarding emails, a few of them here, and a couple other emails are getting really, really good stats. We're seeing 50% open rates and 25% click-through rates, 40%, 60% to 17%. All of this is pretty good. Like, all of these stats are above average. But we also see which emails are not performing at all. So you can see that our onboarding office hours email is obviously not tailored enough in order to get the click, because we're getting a 32% open rate, but only 5% of anybody opening that email is clicking on anything, which means that either the call to action or the copy just needs to be improved. Same thing for the community, which is the pushing people towards our Twitter, our YouTube, and our Facebook. We're only seeing an 8% click-through rate on that email. And what I can do is I can then click on these links, and it will take me directly to the email, so I can quickly edit it right there and then when I see a problem happening, and I can make sure that that email is improved in order to improve those stats. So let me hop on back over to the report. I can see that a lot of my onboarding emails are experiencing fairly good open rates, except for this one here for some reason. So I'm going to have to fix that. But these emails are getting good open rates, but bad click-through rates. So I'm now going to be able to diagnose the problem and ensure that my emails are engaging and that people engage with those emails during this onboarding process. Moving on, we show that same report. So those funnel emails, those top performing ones, as well as the ones that are needing improvement, we can actually see those on a per funnel basis in the funnel breakdown report. So this is the funnel breakdown chart, or the funnel breakdown reporting tab. And what you can do is you can select a funnel that you want to break down and show you all of the relevant statistics on. So I am going to select my abandoned cart reclaim funnel. And it's going to show me which benchmarks people are completing. So this is the first one, which is someone added something to their cart. We can see how many people purchased as a result of that. We can also see the number of people that emptied. We can see that our active contacts over time is down 33%. Our conversion rate, again, I mentioned that we now have the ability to mark a conversion metric within funnels, which is the download purchased benchmark. So we can see that our conversion rate is up 3% over the previous 31 days. So that's pretty good. And we can also see that our abandonment rate, so the number of contacts that abandoned the funnel after joining, is currently at 61%, which is up by 5%. So obviously, a couple things there. We either need more emails within the sequence in order to engage people further, or the emails in themselves need to be more engaging. And again, we see the top performing emails and the emails that need improvement. So drilling into this funnel, we can see that our first abandoned cart email that we send gets a 35% open rate and a 40% click-through rate, which is really good. But every subsequent email after that has a 0% click-through rate, which is problematic in and of itself. So this is telling me that either the first email is really good, but the second, third, and fourth ones are not for some reason. So I can now go in and edit those and ensure that those start performing. Moving further down, there's a generic kind of benchmark conversion rate table, which will tell you the conversion metrics in between each benchmark in the funnel. So we see added to cart to emptied cart has like a 16% conversion rate, and then emptied cart to 9% has 300%. But because of the way that this funnel laid out, it's not totally accurate, but it'll give you a general sense if you have a funnel laid out, just like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, it'll show you the metrics in between each benchmark so that you can see kind of that funnel view of how people are moving through. So this is the funnel breakdown. And then finally, last but not least, we have our improved broadcast report breakdown. So again, like the funnel, this allows you to select a specific broadcast email that you've recently sent and allows you to break it down completely in order to show you specific statistics. So total delivered, total opens, total clicks, your click-through rate, and also it'll tell you exactly which links have been clicked and the number of clicks that each link gets and the unique clicks. And my big face is covering that. So down here you see the number of unique contacts. So 3 contacts clicked this link, but it was clicked 4 times in all. And then we see that same thing, 3 people clicked this link, clicked 7 times in all. So we're now able to drill down on those specific statistics. So it's great stuff going on there. Now, this is just the beginning. This is just where we're starting. So we're going to push this brand new dashboard out fairly soon in a big update, which is our 2.2 update, which is going to have a ton of other performance improvements as well. So look out for this. This is just the beginning, though. This report or this dashboard is going to have a reports API, which means that some of our extensions, like our sales pipeline, our calendar extension, and other extensions, our really simple payments extension, will be able to add more tabs and more reports to this page, which is going to be super awesome. It's going to allow us to create your kind of all-encompassing executive dashboard so you can get the stats that you need in order to make informed business decisions. And that's just incredibly exciting to me. And also, if you're a third-party extension provider and you want to provide your own reports, this is going to be an open dashboard that has a reporting API, so you can just plug in the reports that you need. It's going to be super awesome, and I can't wait to provide this. But this is what we're starting with. This is going to be the first iteration. It will improve over time. We will add more reports as requests for specific reporting functionality comes in, I'm sure. So it's going to be I'm very, 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 very excited. And I see love coming in from the tribe in the chat, so that's awesome, and I'm glad a lot of people are excited for just as excited for this as I am. Okay, that's kind of this is the big visual aspect of 2.2. There's the rest of the big 2.2 update is all on the back end that you're not going to be able to see for the most part. Just a lot of performance improvement and really uninteresting PHP stuff. So I am going to switch it back to regular office hours stuff, and we're going to do some Q&A. So now is your opportunity. If you have questions about Groundhogg, maybe about our new reporting dashboard, if you have questions about funnels or you're experiencing some kind of roadblock in your email marketing, now is the perfect time for you to ask those questions. I have all of the comments coming through in the stream on my right here. I'll be able to just reiterate your comment and answer it live here on the call. There is around a 20-second delay from when words leave my mouth to when they get to you. So if there's a little bit of downtime, a little bit of dead space, and I kind of just like sitting here in silence just because I'm waiting for you to actually hear what I'm saying. And I see my first question from Karsten, and he's asking, is everything in 2.2 compatible with the old funnels of previous versions? Absolutely. All of the data, of course, will be backwards compatible. There is new data being kept, which we won't be able to fabricate. So some of the reports will be empty for a while as kind of Groundhogg collects that new data. Specifically, a lot of the opt-in status reports, like unconfirmed, confirmed, unsubscribed, etc. We're only going to start tracking those activities as of 2.2. So those charts will be empty for a while, but will populate with data over time once you update to 2.2. But everything else, like the broadcast, the funnels, and all of that good stuff, will already be accessible as soon as you update to 2.2. So for the vast majority of things, yes. So hopefully that answers your question, Karsten. Thank you for asking. Zane asks, I finally have AWS SES emails working well with bounces, deliverability, etc. Congratulations. Should I still consider Mailhawk in the future? Perhaps. What are the pros and cons? So for anybody who doesn't know, I am starting yet another company. It's called Mailhawk, and it is going to be an email delivery business. We have our own MTA set up and all of the kind of like email service provider infrastructure set up, and hopefully we're going to be able to get that out within the next 2 weeks. Basically, we're just waiting on a bunch of legal stuff, incorporation and whatnot, bank accounts, etc. So hopefully we're going to be able to get that out soon. If you already have AWS set up, don't fix what ain't broke. Mailhawk, which is going to be our service provider, is going to be focused at providing services to people who really like the kind of like the one-click setup stuff. Very much similar to SendWP, except with better support and better functionality. We will be providing that service, kind of that one-click service solution. If you have AWS set up, I would stick with it. AWS is going to be more cost-effective than Mailhawk will be, but as you've experienced, AWS can kind of be a pain in the ass to set up if you don't know what you're doing. So we're targeting people who don't necessarily have the technological know-how in order to kind of go through the AWS process. They want the one click, and of course it's going to have a lot of other additional features that make working with it really, really, really nice. So maybe for certain projects, Zane, in the future, if you have a customer that you don't want to have to deal with the AWS stuff, you can set them up on Mailhawk, and it's kind of going to be just kind of like a set it and forget it experience, which is going to be really nice. And but if for your current project or other projects that you've already set up, I wouldn't take the time in order to switch it over. I appreciate you asking, though, and hopefully that answers your question. Louis asks, does the add-on replacement codes, so our custom replacement codes extension, I'm assuming, allow to add functions or just text? So Louis, I'm assuming you are referring to our custom replacement codes extension. And I'm just going to pull it up here. So the custom replacement codes extension, essentially what it does is it allows you to obviously create custom replacement codes. So the curly braces with like a code text here, and essentially you can insert text, other replacement codes, or short codes into any of the replacements. It does not support PHP code or JavaScript or HTML, CSS, any of that. Or it does support HTML if you want to put custom or plain text HTML in there. But it won't, if you try to put in like actual PHP code, that's not going to work. But it does support other replacement codes. So kind of like recursive replacement codes if you want to do that. It does support short codes and it does support HTML. So those are your options for the kind of content that you want to put into a custom replacement code. But no PHP, that would be a like huge security problem. And you would break your site if you did that. And we don't want you to break your site. So those are your options. Other replacement codes, short codes, HTML. So hopefully, Louis, that answers your question. If you're joining the call late, now is your opportunity to ask any kind of questions in the chat area of this stream. You are able to ask questions about WordPress, about Groundhogg, about our new 2.2 reporting feature, about email marketing, business advice, working in Canada, I know a few things about a few things, and if you are experiencing a roadblock in your business or in your implementation of Groundhogg or in the launch of your business, then now is a excellent opportunity to ask any questions that you have in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat your question live on the call and then answer it right here. And we can even have a conversation and go back and forth, and I can make sure that you get the answer that you need. There is around a 20-second delay between when words leave my mouth to when you actually hear them on your end. So if there's a little bit of dead space in between me answering your question and you asking it, then that's the reason. Louis asks, when a company is uploaded to the company's add-on, the company data within the contact record is automatically updated. Yes, it should be. So the data there should be automatically updated. I didn't actually build the company's add-on. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a note to ask my developer. And what I'll do is I'll actually do that right now. And hopefully he can provide you with an answer. So Louis, I've just asked him, and hopefully he'll message me back shortly, and I'll be able to get that answer for you. I think the answer is yes, though. For anybody on the call, questions are now being taken. Feel free to go ahead and ask your question in the chat and have it answered live. If not, we're around the half-hour mark, which is a good length for office hours in most cases, and we can start wrapping it up if there are no more questions. Okay, Louis, so I did get an answer. It looks like actually the answer is no. So the regular kind of like company fields in the contact record aren't updated if the contact is added manually via the company screen. It does feel like that should be what happens, though. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get you to open up a quick feature request for me and ask that the regular company information in the contact record is updated if the contact is added to a company via the company screen. So I've just posted a link in the chat there, which is a link to our feature request form. And if you could just go ahead and quickly fill that out with that information, then that would be helpful. And we can make that as a note to update that in a future update. So we're around the half-hour mark. That is a good a time as any in order to start wrapping up office hours. I want to thank everybody who's on the session. If you need any additional help and resources, we have a couple places where you can do that. You can go to academy.groundhogg.io. That's where the replay of this office hour session is going to be posted. So you'll be able to find that there. Also, we have a couple free courses for you to take if you're new to Groundhogg, so great resources to get started there. If you're more of the sit back and relax type of person and you just want people to take care of everything for you, I totally hear you. I'm one of those people. You can go to our certified partner directory to find a certified partner that you can work with, and they're going to be able to help you on a couple fronts and get your project launched. If you have someone that you think will benefit from using Groundhogg and they end up making a purchase, we think that you should be rewarded for that. You can go to our affiliate area /registration and register to become an affiliate and earn up to 10% on every single referral that buys something. And we have a deal going on right now where you can pay for 3 years of Groundhogg. Pay for 2 years of Groundhogg and get 1 year free. So that's a total of 3 years for the cost of 2. And that is a deal on now. So super huge opportunity for affiliate commissions there, because you essentially make double on a single sale than you would otherwise. So you can go to our pricing page to learn more about the current deal going on. If you're not yet, you should absolutely be following us on Groundhogg on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We will be posting the replay of this session to YouTube as we normally do. So links to all of those social channels there, and you should absolutely be subscribed to every single one. If you have yet to leave a review, I would be most incredibly grateful if you took the 3 minutes out of your day in order to do that. Reviews allow us to get more customers, which allows us to hire more developers, which means more features that you want and love. For example, we've been, pouring our heart and soul into this new reporting dashboard for at least 3 months now. So just goes to show you kind of the R&D that's involved into creating great software and great tools that will be used and will be helpful. So every review helps. So if you have yet to do that, please do so on our WordPress.org repository page, which is wordpress.org/plugins/groundhogg. If you have more questions and we weren't able to answer them on this call, fear not, there is reprieve. You can continue to comment in the chat area. Someone will be monitoring it and replying to any questions that we were not able to answer during the call. You can also post generically in the Facebook group, as always. And you may also reach out on Facebook or Twitter. Lots of ways to get in touch with us. And you can also hold your question until next office hours, which will be 3 p.m. next Tuesday. I want to thank everybody for taking the time out of their day to spend it with me today. I'm extremely grateful, and I will see everybody next week, 3 p.m. Thank you, and have a wonderful day, and stay safe.